Alright, I got her chained up here and got the last bolt out, and you can already see it's starting to come apart. See if I rock it a little bit. That motor should pop right out to back up a little bit. There she goes. You can see inside there's the little auxiliary transmission. And there's the clutch and throwout bearing. So I got my stand built. I'm gonna get her on the stand and then we'll take a little closer look as soon as we get in focus. Alright, so we're on the stand. I'm gonna get her rolled upside down. We'll pop the pan off and we're gonna see what the condition of the crankshaft is. I should also be able to see or get a shot of the camshaft. I want to check that out too. Fingers crossed. Alright, so we're sitting sideways now, and I think that's where I'm going to keep it. If you look how this engine's sitting, it's not quite at a full angle. I've got this, so this corner of this pan is like the lowest point, so any oil or anything that's left in there, it should all be sitting down in this corner. When I pop it off, it should keep it from just dumping out everywhere. Already though, there's some signs of trouble. This is the oil plug, and if you'll look closely, there's little shiny bits, which is metal. And if I take my magnet here, if I can get it to cooperate with one hand here, it's picking up chunks of metal. So the fact that there's chunks of metal sitting in the plug of the pan is not a good sign. I got a feeling we're in for more trouble. So let me get these bolts out real quick, and I'll bring you back right as I'm getting the pan off. It's stuck. Alright, let's see what's going on in here. So I might need a flashlight real quick. Alright, so let's see. This would be cylinder number 4. Don't see anything yet. It looks kind of chewed up there around the base of that liner. Nothing too bad. Cylinder number 3 up in there, not really seeing anything. Yeah, everything from the bottom side looks okay at this point. See the camshaft up in there. I'll check that out, see if any of the lobes are worn down or anything. So yeah, not sure why there's metal in the pan. I'm not seeing anything. Nothing's jumping at me quite yet. So like I say, maybe it's not something too major. It may also be, I can't remember if I talked about it in one of the clips or not, that the timing gear for the cam has kind of like some worn out area right here. I think it's where they put too big of a bolt in, so maybe that's where that metal came from. That would be nice if that's the case. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start cracking off these bearing caps, and I want to see what the condition of the crankshaft is. And if we got a good crankshaft and I inspect the block, we'll go ahead and put a rebuild kit in it. So stay tuned. Alright, so we're pretty much fully disassembled, or at least as far as I see the need to go. I've got the liners and pistons knocked out. As you can see, crankshaft is sitting over on the bench, and now I'm able to roll this cam around, and none of the lobes look bad or anything. I don't see any need to pull that camshaft out. I did know about the gears being chipped up like this, but I think that's going to be okay. For the most part, the crank gear, the crank gear runs in all of it, but there's still plenty of gear there. I'm not going to worry about that. I think that'll be okay. and then the oil pump runs off the crank. So that's all going to be fine. I don't see any need to fool with the camshaft at all, but these liners, which were an absolute nightmare to knock out. I've never had liners that were harder to get out. They're all along the tops. You could see the cracks, but most of them, as I was hitting them, the tops were just busting right off the liners. So we're definitely in for liners. I haven't checked out all these connecting arms yet. They seem good. One of them had a slight bit of play in it, but I think we're probably going to be able to reuse the same arms and just get away with pistons, liners, and rings. And then obviously while we're in here, we're going to address our bearings while we're looking at them. Still a big mystery as to why the liners cracked. None of them were loose. They were all in there pretty tight. So I still don't have any idea what would have caused that cracking. I don't know if this thing got overheated or I don't know. But so right now waiting on parts, and then we'll start knocking her back together. Alright, so I can say at this point we have officially hit the bottom, hopefully the bottom of the amount that we are going to tear into this tractor. I've disassembled pretty much everything at this point. I'll give you a quick rundown here. So the Sherman, it definitely was leaking. This whole area inside of here was just covered in oil and grit and all kinds of nasty stuff, and I could just tell that it was leaking. So what I've done is I've taken off all the covers, the top here and the side, and I've taken them off, wire wheeled them up real clean, and put some gasket maker on them to seal that up. So that's good. Moving on to the top lid, I thought that there was something wrong with the adjustment here. That's not so much the case. The case, after doing some research and looking around on the internet, the issue is that this pin right here, you can barely see it because this camera will never focus. So basically what that does is that's how it knows the position of where these arms are, and that's basically how the position control works. However, my pin is broken off, which is why it's not getting the full reading of where those arms are. So that's a fairly simple fix. That was fairly cheap. In other news, while I've had this thing apart, obviously, so this is the clutch and pressure plate and all that fun stuff. That's all going to get replaced while I've got it. The clutch doesn't look too bad. The pressure plate was definitely having issues of some sort. The ring gear, you can definitely see where those teeth are pretty worn. This is the side where the starter engages. In fact, even on it somewhere I found, see if I can find it now. Somewhere on it, it actually has a broken tooth. Yep, right there. You can see that tooth is, the top half of that tooth is broken off. So, while I've got this all apart, perfect time to put a ring gear in, fairly cheap. The motor, I'm still waiting on the rebuild kit to come in. I ordered it today. I did check my sleeves. It turns out these were the 90,000th sleeves that were in it, and pistons. So I know what sleeves to get. All that's coming. Trying to think what else. Just to get at that Sherman, it was just easier just to take the whole dash and steering box off. I've got the tractor pretty much torn down at this point. The only things at this point that I haven't touched, although I will have to do both the hubs and get into the rear wheel bearings. At this point, the only thing I haven't fooled with is the differential, and the only thing I had to fool with this transmission was that shifter pin. But at this point, I would say I've pretty much been through this whole tractor. And even once I got the front end off, there's the king pin in the front that the axle swivels on. I'm going to have to replace that too. So this tractor has been a load of work. I did not think it was going to be this involved when I got it. I thought it would be a lot simpler than this. I really didn't think I was in for all this, but you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'll have a decent tractor, and I'll at least have the peace of mind knowing that everything inside of it's been done and gone over and everything's the way it should be.